everybody, and welcome to the Valentine's Day edition of the most interesting news in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, very soon, in just one day, depending on where you are, maybe like a day and a half or 2 days if you're somewhere else, but it's like 1.5 days. In 1.5 days, Dr. Dane here starts his adventure. I don't know if it's an adventure, his program. I'm lax on saying adventure because I recently learned that nobody actually likes adventure, which explains a lot. And it also explains why I'm so different, because I love adventure. Oh my God, I love adventure. So his program called Relax. It's a 2-month program with all sorts of stuff going on. If you want to check it out, just Google Dr. Dane here, Relax. I'm very excited about it. It's coming off the heels of the Need and Tug call, which Dane and Gary have been doing the last 2 nights, and tonight is the last night. And we'll be moving directly into the Would an Infinite Being Truly Choose This telecall with Kalpana and Simone. Now, I know I talked about all 3 of those last week, but I'm going to talk about them again because this is the most interesting news in the world. And that is the most interesting news in the world. It is. It really is. Why is it the most interesting news in the world? Well, if you've never actually done any access consciousness, one of the tools, if not my favorite tool, well, no, my favorite tool is Would an Infinite Being Truly Choose This? My second favorite tool is Everything is Just an Interesting Point of View. Now, why is that so cool? Well, that's why I named this show The Most Interesting News in the World. Because what if you were like, with everything you heard, you just went, interesting. That's an interesting point of view. What if everything was just an interesting point of view? That's interesting. Because there is a lot of news going on, like on those normal news channels. I see it. I've been like diving into it. I've been like very interested. Some guy named Tucker interviewed some dude that's a leader of a country, and that's like a big deal. And everybody's saying all sorts of stuff about it. And, if you're from the United States, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. That's a pretty big deal. There's the news that today's Valentine's Day. A lot of sorts of people are heartbroken. Lots of sorts of people are probably super excited that, oh my God, Valentine's Day, I'm having a great day. What did I do for Valentine's Day? I'm doing this for one. And I watched over my son, Sebastian. So the most interesting news in the world. What if everything was just an interesting point of view? What does that mean? What does it really mean if something's an interesting point of view? Well, it means it doesn't stick with you. It means you don't align and agree with it or resist and react to it. So how much of the news in the world have you been aligning and agreeing with? Like, you watch news like, this is terrible, this is horrible. And you're like, yeah. Or they're like, this is terrible and this person's bad. And you're like, no, they're not. Well, let's look at it this way too. How much of the news in the world is actually created to get you to align and agree, or to get you to resist and react to something? What if you could actually just be interesting point of view about it all? Does that feel a little bit better? Cool. So everything that doesn't allow that to show up times the Godzilla is starting to create it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, public, online, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Well, how does this work? Applying interesting point of view just works like this. If you're watching the news, which I don't suggest doing, you just go, interesting point of view, they have that point of view. Interesting point of view, I have my point of view. Especially if you're resisting and reacting or aligning and agreeing, you're like, yeah, I really like what that person has to say. Like for me right now, there's a president, there's someone that is running for president that I'm like, yeah, I really like what this person's doing. And I haven't actually been doing that's me aligning and agreeing. What if I was actually just interesting point of view? Like, interesting point of view, I have that point of view. So much better. And then there's like 2 other people running for president of the United States that I'm like, well, I used to be like, but now I'm just better. I've already done interesting point of view with those guys, to the point that I'm like, yep, interesting point of view. They have that point of view. Like, they're nuts. They're just nuts. Man, they're nuts. Wow. Wow. You know, and a really fun movie to watch is called Idiocracy. It's an older movie, comedy movie. That's why I think it's fun to watch. So check it out. It's in the United States. Well, it's not just the United States. It takes place in the future, and the president of the world is now telling everyone that they need to water their plants with Gatorade or energy drink. Well, it's not really energy drink, with sport drink, because the plants need electrolytes. And all the water fountains and all the drinking, and even the water that comes out of the tap, it's not water anymore. It's sport drink because it has electrolytes, because you need electrolytes. So it's very funny. Check it out, because it's a great way to, you know, run access bars. And if you haven't gotten your gotten your bars run, I highly suggest finding someone that can run your bars. You can go to accessconsciousness.com/facilitators, or just click on the facilitators button, and you can find yourself a bars practitioner near you, you know, in your city. Find them based on location, because they are all over almost the entire world at this point. And if there isn't one in your city, look for like the nearest big city, because I know that there's people running bars in cities where they aren't actually listed on the Access Consciousness website. I wish they would be, but that's okay. It's their choice. And you can find some people that might be interested in, you know, giving you a bar session, or you can pay them for a bar session. It will be money well spent, let me tell you. So, interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Now, doesn't mean you have to not have a point of view. For a long time, for some reason, I thought not having a point of view was the right way to go. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. You can have no point of view, and you can still take a point of view and have it be interesting point of view. Like, my point of view is that everybody should have their bars run, because I would really like the whole world to be sustainable in the future. I would like there to be more consciousness on the planet. What is consciousness? Everything includes everything. Consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. It means that everything is included and nothing is judged. Now, I get that on the surface, if that's the first time you've ever heard that, you're like, how does that change anything? But the interesting thing is the fact that people are aligning and agreeing, because it takes judgment to align and agree with something. It takes judgment to resist and react to something. If you're aligning and agreeing with something, you're judging it as good. If you're resisting and reacting to something, you're excluding it. So you're not including it into your universe. So if everything was included, nothing was judged, you have choice. You actually have true choice. And when you have true choice, when everything's included and nothing is judged, you can see what your actual choices create, because it's your judgment that keeps you from being able to know what your choices are going to create. And if you get rid of I should say, when your totally interesting point of view, you can go, oh, this is going to create this, and I'm not going to do that. And then people will get mad at you, but you'll be aware of the fact that people will get mad at you, because you'll know what your choices are going to create, because you'll be aware of all the judgments that everybody else is functioning from. So you can choose what you know you can choose that's actually going to create a greater future for everyone, whether they like it or not. Interesting, huh? Wow. I had no idea that today was going to go here today. So what are we going to do for the rest of the show? I'm not sure. I do like this though. I kind of want to, like, you know, move around and see how much the camera guy can keep following me. Oh, oh, there it is. Keep following me. Come on, pick up the pace, cameraman. There you go. You're doing good. All right. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Great. So now that I've successfully like erased all my ability to think and hence talk, my body's a lot more relaxed. Now I'm trying to think of some other things that are going on and I don't really know. Oh my God. I can't believe I totally forgot. Hey, this weekend, Sunday at 5 p.m. Istanbul time, I'm doing a class called How Much Are You Willing to Receive? There is a manual that comes with this class. The class is based on the book by Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane here called Money is Not the Problem, You Are. How does it get any better than that? It's a really cool manual. I actually just finished reading the manual. It's a really cool book. I am lucky enough to have been the narrator for the audiobook for the English version of that book. And life-changing. Reading that book is nothing short of life-changing. I even did a call yesterday, free call, gift call for all sorts of people that were interested in, discovering how much is too much. Can too much really be a point of view if everything is just an interesting point of view? Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Now I'm really just trying to talk long enough to keep carrying this thing on to 20 minutes because I kind of feel like I promised y'all 20 minutes, but it feels like it's been a half an hour. So what do all of you want to know? What do you want to know about interesting point of view? See, one of the things you might think that interesting point of view will give you is a better understanding of other people's points of views. It does. But more importantly, you'll gain a lot more faster. More importantly, I'm saying more importantly a whole bunch of time, is if you actually look at an interesting point of view more from a perspective of like, how am I different? A lot of us tend to think that everybody else thinks like us. I've actually known for a very long time that nobody thinks like me. Like I'm super different. And the more I do interesting point of view, the more I discover, holy cow, I do not think like anyone else. Anyone else. Which I would say I even just said in my head, which makes things really difficult. I didn't say it out loud, but I said it out loud because I said it in my head. And that's when you want to go interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Is that really true? Does it actually need to make things difficult, or is there something else possible? What else is possible that I haven't considered yet? Cool. Cool. And at this point in time, I'm like, I want to finish. And I'm like, interesting point of view. I have that point of view. Kind of just wanted to finish because I didn't feel like I had anything else to say. And I feel like I have to say something. Interesting point of view. I have that point of view. I'm kind of willing to just sit here and stare at you. Got beautiful eyes. On that note, I am going to end this. This has been the most interesting news in the world. I hope you check out some of the things that I've talked about. I hope you give interesting point of view a try. But if you don't, and if you think my show's stupid and you think I'm stupid, well, interesting point of view, you have that point of view. Just remember, your point of view creates your reality, not your reality creates your point of view. And what kind of reality are you creating if your point of view is everything is just an interesting point of view? Whoa. Till next time, this has been the most interesting point of view in the world, the most interesting news in the world. I have the most interesting point of view in the world. Yes. The most interesting news in the world with me, your host, Connor Hill. Check you later next time. Ta-ta. Bye-bye. Good as shooters.